All right, welcome back to the Agro-Eco project. We're here in beautiful central Massachusetts. And right now we're gonna go into some flatbreads, okay? So we're gonna do two things. We're gonna make a vegetarian mushroom goat cheese flatbread that I love. And we're also gonna do kind of a shawarma style beef heart flatbread. You're gonna love it. Okay, so let's get into the dough itself. We are highlighting Maine grains. I love Maine grains. They're doing amazing work. Sourcing from the Northeast. This particular one is certified organic, so it's free of glyphosate and toxic chemicals, and that's a huge deal with wheat, a huge, huge deal. Without further ado, let's dive into this. So I've got about 2.5 cups of this awesome flour in this bowl. That's our dry ingredients. I've got some sea salt in there as well. And to that, I've got about a little over a cup of water, filtered water if you can. And I'm gonna add some dry active yeast, just a little bit. Add a little bit of awesome local Carlisle honey. This is wildflower, so good. And I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, okay? Just a little bit. So I'm just gonna mix that up. Now, if you're using instant, you really don't have to do this, okay? But the dry active or fresh yeast, you're gonna wanna just make sure that yeast is active and let it hang out for a nice 5 minutes to dissolve, and you're gonna start to smell the yeast and you're gonna get a little bit of bubble. So I'm gonna make kind of a quick well in here. So I'm just gonna add all this water in, and I'm just gonna get in there with a wooden spoon. So that's it. I'm actually not really kneading it or mixing it that much because we've got the advantage of time to develop the gluten, okay? A little bit of oil. And this is where that dough is gonna get covered with a damp towel. If this is the night before, you might wanna put it in the fridge and let it slowly kind of ferment and gain flavor. This is what it looks like after having been risen. I'm gonna flour my board a little bit. So beautiful. There's nothing like working with dough with your hands. And I'm just gonna kind of basically portion this guy. I like to go right down the middle. A metal scrape would be really nice, or even your knife here. So then you've got your portioned dough balls, okay? What I like to do is just kind of form rounds by kind of just like quickly just working and pulling and letting the dough kind of pinch underneath your hands like that, and you've got nice rounds. So I'm gonna actually put this aside. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna kind of let the dough rest for a little while. While that's having its second rise, we're gonna talk about the shawarma. So we're gonna work with some beef heart, all right? And this is from an amazing local farm in Littleton, Mass called Springdale Farm. 100% grass-fed and finished beef. It's so delicious, it's so underutilized, and eating offal and cooking with organ meat is a way to kind of reconnect with the animals that sustain us. Let's dive into the heart itself. I've already trimmed this guy up, okay? So I'm just gonna kind of show you basically this kind of heart steak. All we're gonna do here is season this guy. Now you could do anything you want, salt, pepper, different spices. We're gonna take this to a hot skillet. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil. And the key here is you wanna go nice and fast and hot, okay? Remember, you can eat this raw, so you really wanna go for medium rare, medium, okay? If you overcook it now, it can be a little bit tough. Let that sear, let it get nice caramelization on one side, and then I'm gonna flip it, and we're good to go. What I've done is go ahead and finish the rest of the heart, all right? And I've just taken it off the heat, and I'm gonna add some just raw while it's still hot, garlic. And what I like to do is sometimes just finish things that are still hot and resting in some aromatics, garlic, really good olive oil, and let this just rest now. So we're gonna grab our dough, and I really like to do this just with my hands. And the reason is because we've just taken the time to develop some really nice air pockets in there, right? Where the yeast has done its job, creating beautiful texture, all right? And you've got a nice little thin flatbread right there, okay? Lay this guy right on there. It's looking good. So I've taken this guy off, hit it with a little bit of olive oil. I love to do that. A little bit of sea salt, okay? This right now is a thing of beauty, okay? Now we're gonna deal with our heart. Super key here, you're gonna wanna slice this really, really thin, okay? And I'm gonna add these guys right to our flatbread, and I'm gonna add this beautiful tomatillo salsa that I did. I just roasted the tomatillos whole in their husk, fresh tomatoes, fresh herbs from the farm, garlic, and some fresh serrano chilies, so it's got some nice heat. Lots of really good olive oil, okay? I'm gonna spoon this beautiful tomatillo salsa on top there. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna roll it up like this. You got this gorgeous, oh my God, fresh flatbread, local 100% grass-fed beef heart, amazing veggies from Julio's farm. I gotta taste this. This is alive, bursting with flavor. Whoa, those serranos are spicy. Amazing. Please give this a try at home. Dive into the adventure that it is eating offal and different cuts of meat. I know you're gonna love this. All right, so now let's focus on the vegetarian flatbread. So this one's been grilled off. We're simply just gonna top it with some sauteed local shiitakes. We're gonna hit this with some goat cheese. Let that goat cheese just kind of do its thing, a few different spots. It'll melt down a little bit. And I love some kind of green onion or chives right on there. We can finish some afterwards as well. Hit it with a little olive oil. You could, of course, play around with this in all different ways. You could have a little bechamel on the bottom. And I'm gonna scoot this guy into our pizza oven. Take this guy out of our oven. A little cut, I love that little crunch. And I can't help it, I'm gonna try this. Let's get this one with some nice goat cheese. I'm telling you, it's amazing the difference when you add something like green onions. I get that pop of green onion with the goat cheese and the mushrooms. This is heaven. So I hope you liked it. Remember, these were just 2 examples of an infinite amount of options of playing around with a humble bag of wheat, okay? But not just any bag of wheat, one grown with integrity, with purpose, with the intention to nourish, okay? And really, so much of what this project is all about, and I'm so honored to be a part of with Julio and the Agro-Eco project, is the intent to really slow down and look deeply at the way we produce food and make sure that ultimately it's nourishing for both the land, the people that are growing it, and the people that are being fed. So thank you so much for being a part of this and for watching, and happy cooking.